Go back.
Well, hey everybody. Well, you can see we finished the shelf off. We got the race car sitting up there. So what Aaron and I are going to work on today is we're going to continue the shelf all the way down that wall. It's right in the middle of our vintage snow machine season, race season. So we got a lot of machines in here. It's kind of unorganized. We get the shelf done, we get stuff more organized in the shop. So that's the goal. We're also going to get this guy installed. It was a extra stove I had at the cabin. I was going to use it in the sauna and I never did. So we are going to install it for now in the corner here where the wood boiler is going to eventually sit. I'm not ready to do the wood boiler yet. I wish I was, because I hate burning oil. But for now, we're going to put that little tiny wood stove in here just to help offset the cost of what it costs us every month to heat our shop here. So Aaron and I, a couple days ago, we got this strong arm all welded in place. The reason why we did it like this is because I want my chain hoist to be able to go in here and be stowed up against the wall here and not hanging out. So we got that done. We've got the beam. We had to add 4 foot onto the beam. So I got that welded together. And we got the posts that we're going to be using cut and sitting here. So we're going to get that welded together, get the beam stood up. And the one thing that's going to be different about this side versus that side is over the wood boiler here, where the wood boiler sits, instead of only coming out 4 feet like that, we're going to come out 6 feet to cover the whole wood boiler area. And then I've got an exhaust fan right there. So the wood boiler, every time you open the door, it leaks a little bit of smoke. I'm going to have a big hood over the wood boiler, and that exhaust fan is going to come down and suck any smoke out as we open the door, so we don't turn our walls black like we did in our last house. So, and I forgot to mention, we are going to have a beam that comes out here that pivots on a swivel, probably 12 foot off the ground. That way, when I've got a snow machine sitting here, I can pivot over, swivel over, and then I could drop my chain hoist down, it would roll back and forth on the beam. So we're going to incorporate that into probably this side, this strong arm. It's going to go all the way up, probably tie into the beam up here. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that yet, but that's what we're going to cover in this video. Well, we got it stood up. We used a skid steer this time. It made it a lot easier. I'll finish welding this off later. I need to put an end on my extension cord for the welder. But that's it. It turned out awesome. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come right off of this, right off the beam. We go straight up and then 90 over into the big beam. And that's going to be the post or the support for the pivoting davit arm that I'm going to install out here. You guys, a lot of you guys commented on the Crocs. They are not steel toe, and this is just the way I roll. And I'm going to keep rolling this way.
Get it. Get him, monkey. Hopefully no. Hopefully later.
Okay, so we got this welded up here. What this is gonna do is this is gonna weld to the beam right here. It's gonna weld to the beam right up there. And it's gonna offset from the beam 1 foot and then come down and weld to the bottom or to the top of that beam. So my welding leads ain't long enough, so we're gonna get the skid steer in here, strap the welder to a pallet, and pick this beam up there, or this post, and get it welded up there. Okay, there it is. We got it all welded in place. Tomorrow I might try to get the, figure out how I'm gonna make this beam swivel. Maybe. Might get on the sawmill tomorrow and start ripping some 1x. So. Okay, so today, got a lot going on in the shop. I brought this snow pusher that I built a month ago in the shop. I'm welding pads on the bottoms, keep it from digging in. It was really digging in on the wings, so putting pads on the bottom of that. Aaron's working on the loft, or the shelf up there that we started on yesterday. We're going to try to get the loft up there, loft boards up. And then we brought the sawmill in because we're getting ready to use the sawmill. I don't like this hand crank they got on here. It's one of the kind where you have to flip the little lever here. I've got one that's got a built-in clutch or built-in brake, which is a lot nicer. First time I used this thing, it got away from me and slammed down, so this is the one I got on my sawmill up at my cabin. So I got another one of those. I'm gonna put it on here, hopefully. Hopefully we get this pretty much done today. The swivel and davit arm, swivel and beam, whatever you want to call it, I'm gonna probably do that next week. It's nice outside, so we need to get outside and start using the sawmill. Okay, well, we got the pads welded on there. It's gonna make a big difference. One of these days we're gonna get this thing back in here. I'm gonna cut this mounting plate off and I'm gonna put it on a swivel. I've got a pretty good idea of how I'm gonna do it, but I think it'll make it a lot easier to plow with if the plate swiveled, because it really wants to dig in hard on the sides because the blade is so wide. So we'll do that another day though. Oh yeah. That's gonna work way better. Metal prep on the metal. We're waiting for that to dry. Aaron is hanging our hangers up. Miranda's painting underneath of the plywood, and then we're gonna paint all the floor joists or rafters, whatever you want to call them, before we put them up. So Miranda's finishing up the painting. Pretty much got everything painted. Right now what I'm working on is installing the stovepipe for the wood boiler. We're not going to be installing the wood boiler, we're just going to install a little wood stove, extra one we had up at the cabin. So we're going to get that installed today and start burning some of that firewood we cut up this summer. Might smoke if your chimney is just all ice up there. Or it might put the fire out.